When you are.
Hey everyone, Dennis K here with Belize Islands Real Estate. Hope you all are doing well today. Hey, listen, today I have a special guest on the channel, Peter Garian from Secret Beach Homes, originally from Florida, right? United States.
Yep,
All right, and now has become an investor of real estate on Ambergris Caye. Not just an investor of land, but also an investor in various projects that I think my client database is going to be very excited to hear about. So, Peter, welcome to the channel.
Thank you, Dennis.
Before we get into the nitty gritty of the project here you've done at Secret Beach, why don't you tell us how you got interested in Belize itself and how you started to invest down there?
Sure. Yeah, well, if you don't mind, I've got a little bit of a presentation on that. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. And bear with me for a second while I do that. Okay. Is it up on the screen?
Yep, we can see you now. Yep.
Okay, great. So when we first started looking at Belize, we wanted to take a look and see what the opportunity was, obviously. So why Secret Beach? And we decided that we were looking at trends of travel, experience that people want to have, and the remote working as well. And so we were seeing a paradigm shift in the way people work, live, and travel. Right? Airbnb recently said remote and hybrid work have untethered many people from the need to be in an office every day, driving the biggest change to travel since the advent of commercial flying. And for the first time, millions of people can work anywhere. And Brian Chesky, who's the CEO of Airbnb, is living this, right? So he's decided that he's going to live full-time in Airbnb properties and fully embody that idea of living and working anywhere. And the trend is happening, right? So according to Airbnb, 1 out of every 5 nights booked were for 28 days or longer. Nearly half of those nights booked were for stays of over 7 days, which was up 44% from the year before. And in 12 months through September, more than 100,000 guests booked stays of 90 days or longer.
Wow. Peter, if I can just interject here for a minute, I've definitely seen this as well. Interestingly, you brought up these stats. But for example, when Steph and I travel, we notice that if we stay in an Airbnb for 7 or less nights, it's basically full price. But as soon as you go over a week, there's some sort of automatic price reduction. But if you stay over 30 days, you can stay a lot cheaper than the average nightly rate. So this is happening, and we're starting to see more and more of this in Belize. So interesting stats. Yeah, thanks for sharing those.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about Belize, it also went on to say that more people are considering and staying abroad more than ever before. So it's really a trend that's happening. And whoops, sorry about that. Computer stuck. So what are these travel trends, right? Here's a report from Airbnb, and 85% of travelers have said they would like to stay in unique accommodations. So what does that mean? Well, we'll get into that, but 50% claim that they would like to find a more nature-based travel experiences compared to urban environments. And then it says 53% of Gen Z, Gen X respondents want to travel to any place close to nature, followed by millennials at 44%. And this one I thought was really cool. An overwhelming 94% said that they would look at sustainable travel. So people are very interested in the green sort of sustainable stuff. So by combining the trends of travel and remote working and sustainability, we decided to figure out a way that would maximize the opportunities that we had in Belize. And so when we first came up with the idea and the concepts, this was the digital rendering that we came up with for our project. And what we wanted to do was figure out a way to maximize the resources that we had, the available land, the available resources, and so forth. And so here's just some more of the renderings.
A nice layout.
Thanks. And then here's the project live as we finished it. So what you've got here are 2 off-grid casitas that are on one lot. So the purchaser of this project will get 2 rental properties on one lot, which we thought was really a good way to maximize, the land. and so forth. So here's just some more shots. There's you can see all the solar panels. We overdid it on the solar panels. The solar system is really quite robust. And so here we are, just some different angles from the outside. You can see the rain catchment systems. You can see the air conditioners, all off grid. Here's the inside. They're basically, large hotel rooms, studio type stays. But it's glamping, right? It's glamorous camping. It's going out into nature. It's a unique stay. But we want comfort too. So as you can see here on the wall there's an air conditioning, there's a ceiling fan, we have flush mount LED lights, hardwood floors, windows all the way around for plenty of natural light. That box there, a lot of people say, what's that box? Well, that's actually an open face closet. There's a little bit of room underneath. There's a shelf there for your things. You can put stuff on top. And then there's also a clothes bar that runs along, but it's very customizable. It's a simple thing. It can be removed or added to or whatever, but we thought it was a good use of the space. Here's just another angle heading towards the kitchen. There's the little kitchenette. You've got your fridge, your sink, tile countertops. So just sort of basic kitchenette. Into the bathroom. We stole this idea from Mahogany Bay. I don't know if you've seen that or not, but that corrugated metal surround, yeah, from over at the Curio collection. So we went with that, and then here's another angle shooting back into the room. Here's the rain catchment system. As you can see at the top there, there's a guttering system that feeds into the rain barrels, and that's how that works. And people have asked, well, how do you get the water? It's just from the rain, it goes into the gutter and into the barrels, and then there's a pump that feeds it back into the house. Into the utility room, what you see here is the hot water heaters. We have propane-based hot water heaters. So when you're using an off-grid property, an electric hot water heater takes a lot of energy and electricity. And so we decided to go with propane in an effort to save electricity in the batteries and solar panels so that people could use more air conditioning and more lights and so forth, as well as it's wired for cable. It's wired for, there's a lot of outlets. We made sure there's plenty of outlets so people could plug in and charge their laptops and phones and so forth. Here's your propane tanks. These are the lithium ion batteries. And you can see those little green gauges on those little green lights on there. And those are the indicator lights for how much juice is in the batteries. And actually, we ran these air conditionings about 24/7 for a week straight. And at no point did the batteries dip below maybe 75% capacity. So we really overdid it with the solar to make sure that there was plenty of panels, plenty of electricity for people to use, even if you had both units occupied, both being used full capacity. We wanted to make sure there was enough there. Here are the systems, one system per unit, one converter per unit. And here it is again, the outside, that's our finished product.
Okay.
Each unit has front and back decks, ingress and egress on both sides. So plenty of ways to do that. And so the idea was to deliver experiences and amenities that today's travelers are looking for, right? So what do we have here? We have unique accommodations. We have a nature-based experience out at Secret Beach. We're only a mile from the water, but yet when you stay back in that area in the evening, I was there in the evening the other day, I actually got some great shots of a sunset and some video of how quiet and it's just really nice. If you are looking for a nature-based experience in Belize, yet you want to be kind of close to Secret Beach and that sort of thing, really, really exciting. How fun it was to be out there in the quiet and the sunset, and it was just really cool. And then of course it's sustainable and eco-friendly. It's off-grid, it's solar powered, rain catch and all that. So how does Secret Beach meet these demands that we discussed? It's a fun, safe way to enjoy a nature-based experience. It's a unique stay, provides peaceful location, and it's completely off-grid. So I like to show this photo. Maybe people have seen this before, but this is progress, the development of Secret Beach. And you can see just a few years ago, there was almost nothing. And then and this is 2019. So it's even more now, as I'm sure you're familiar with. But I like to show that because there really is a lot going on at Secret Beach. It's early, but it's happening now. Things are really exploding. So we're excited about that. And Yeah, that's it. So that's our project. We're very excited about it. We're thrilled to have you help us market the property, and we're excited to see somebody take on the project.
Yeah, so let's go back, scroll back to through the pictures. I have a couple questions for you.
Sure.
So first of all, for my clients, this property is now for sale as is. So stop right there for a second. So we got the two structures there. Let's see the drone video or the drone aerial shot, just so we can check out how the property is laid out. So it's a large lot, right? It's 60 feet wide by 100 feet deep. There's plenty of space to add something. So for example, if my clients wanted to add, let's say a two-story, two-bedroom home, for example, up in that northern, let's say northeast corner, it looks like there's plenty of room to add a nice two-story, two-bedroom home. Is that correct?
Yeah, you could. There's the way we laid it out was we wanted to make sure that there was room to expand. So if you wanted another structure, if you wanted to add a pool, there would be space available for those things.
Okay, excellent. Very good. So gardens, pools, another structure on the property. You probably could put two more structures, but then you might tend to crowd it a bit. So I like the fact just adding one nice single family home over time. And we noticed that you left it unlandscaped. What are your thoughts on what type of landscaping would be good to finish off the property, and why you chose to leave it like this?
Right. So we just did a partial fence at this point. I have a quote for finishing the fence if somebody's interested in finishing the fence. But the idea was that it would allow for customization. People could choose to do it the way that they wanted to do it, right? Whether you wanted a natural sort of hedge with some shrubs or trees, whether you wanted to put in a full fence, whether you wanted to leave it open, do the landscaping the way that you want to do it in a way that fits your personality and fits the way you see the future of this property going, whether you want to put more structures, put a pool, etc. We left it available. So the landscaping part is going to be up to the next buyer. How do they want to do it? We can certainly help guide them, but it's fully an option for whoever.
Okay, excellent. No, that's really good news. So we see you got the solar panels on both units. Yep. Let's go take a look at the inside picture. First, pause right there for a minute. So yep. What is the construction materials used? It looks like you might have concrete on the ground with your pilings, but then correct. What on top? Is that correct?
Correct. That's absolutely correct. So the foundation was dug and built, right? So we dug down to the bedrock to ensure that it was on firm footing. Lay the foundation. The cement piers go up. There's a subfloor of concrete underneath that, and then wood structure on top of that.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's a great way to build, because that way your foundation is super solid. You don't have to worry about the wood rot or anything. Very strong, even in a major storm. You got a lot of strength to the structure. But then right. I like the softness of the wood on top. Let's take a look at, first of all, I also love the front and back balconies. That is fantastic feature.
And I want to mention something too, now that you brought that up, about the fact that it's raised up. Obviously, there are other reasons why it's good to have it raised up, but one of them is that you're above the mangroves. And so when you're standing on these decks, even at night, if you are down in these mangroves in the evening, the mosquitoes would really come alive. However, the breeze is constant across those front and back decks. So you can stand out there at night and the breeze is good enough that it keeps the mosquitoes away. I was out there for the sunset, like I mentioned, and I stood out there, for quite a while and wasn't bothered at all. So it's nice that you're up above the mangroves and you open the windows at night and you really get that nice breeze. So that's another benefit of being up like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good design feature. Let's take a look inside. Just want to see. So you got plenty of enough room there for the bed. You can have a couple of chairs. Correct. Looks like you can fit still quite a bit in there. So even though it's a studio, you can absolutely make it livable for, let's say a couple were to come down and rent for 3 or 4 or 6 months. There's plenty of room in there for that.
Absolutely.
And as far as the kitchen goes, we saw you had a little fridge. What are your thoughts on making that usable, as far as like a hot plate, microwave? What are your thoughts on finishing that off for the end buyer?
Yeah, any of those options are possible. You could even, if you wanted to put in a propane stove cooktop, we can pipe up propane. a little cooktop or toaster oven or microwave. We made sure that the solar would have enough electricity to power a cooktop or a toaster oven, microwave, that sort of thing. So that can certainly be brought in and offer that as well.
Okay, good. And easy to install some cupboards and shelves there too for just some basic supplies.
Absolutely, yeah. There's still room for customization as well.
Yeah, excellent. No, that sounds good. Bathroom, excellent.
Bathroom, yep.
Yeah, people always ask about the septic. So tell us how does the septic work on these?
Yep. So the septic is underneath the property. It's buried below the property. It was built with multiple chambers underneath. And so the way it works is the waste line leaves the house, goes down below this, it's concrete. It was dug deep down and then enclosed with these chambers of concrete and then put concrete on top. The pipe goes down below through that into the chambers and then moves it through the chambers as it does and then is leached out. Okay. So it's fully contained. It's not above ground. It's below ground, and there shouldn't ever be a need to pump it out or service it. It should simply just leach. There is access should you need to get into it. There's a panel which you just pull up a little bit of concrete and it's all fully accessible right there. So,
and this all had to be approved of by the San Pedro Town Council.
Correct. Long before we started, we had a set of drawings and plans and architecturals that were drawn up professionally, and we brought those to the San Pedro Town Council. Everything was signed off on, stamped, etc. before we even broke ground. So definitely followed all the rules on that.
Good deal. All right. Well, let's talk numbers. So what are you asking for the project as it is right now?
So as it sits, we're going to ask 189,000, and that's going to be an all cash price at this time. We don't have any financing available, but we did want to put out a product that we think has fantastic opportunity for income, right? Mm-hmm. So you've got 2 units, you can use one, you can rent one out, you can rent them both out. It's customizable. There's fantastic opportunity for strong income. And at that price point, we think it's very strong. So we're excited to see somebody take this on, and we think that people will have tremendous success with it. We think it's a really good asset.
Yeah, I think it's a blowout price, to be honest, Peter. I think for 189 US, 2 units, and remember, once you're into these units, and it's not going to take much to put a microwave in, to put some furniture in. But once these units are up and rented, number one, there's a high demand for long-term rentals anywhere near Secret Beach, because there's so many people that are going to be having their homes built and they want to come down and live somewhere for 6 months or 9 months while that's happening. They're going to want to stay here. But also just the overnight possibility to rent is extremely high in this area. So yeah. Plus, if any of my clients are looking for a property like this, that they want to then eventually live on. So if you want to build let's say a 2-3 bedroom, 2-story home, this area right next to these, you're not going to crowd the property. You got rollover product for rentals, for family members to come down, for moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas to come down and visit. It's a really a nice property for the future.
Yeah, we're excited about it too, Dennis.
Cool. So listen, I'll put this out there on my channel at 189 US. So if any of you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, you want to take a look at this property, let us know. We've also got a lot of drone video that Peter shot, a lot of interior walkthroughs. So I'll be putting out another video, possibly with some rental returns, what that might look like, short-term, long-term. But in addition to this project, Peter, how do people find you personally, and what might you be able to help with them in Belize?
So anyone who wants to, and I'm available for more questions on this project as well. So feel free to ask any questions you have. But people can reach me at my website, which is secretbeachhomes.com, and just fill out a form and we'll get back to you through there. And then going forward in the future, we are going to be available for construction consulting, as well as doing more projects like this. So we're very excited to be part of Secret Beach and be part of the Belize community. The workers that we've been working with, the contractors, everybody's been so fantastic. The work ethic's been tremendous. So it's really been a pleasure to do this here, and we're excited to do more.
Peter. Thanks a lot for being on the channel today.
Thank you, Dennis.
I'll put all this information in the notes below, and we'll see you real soon. Take care.
Appreciate it. Thanks.